Hello all you Conan Exile fans out there, it's Guarini Gamester back with another beginner's guide to Conan Exiles. Now I am playing on the PlayStation 4 single player, and in today's guide we're going to talk about orbs, traps, and palisades. Yeah, these are all great tools to use during a purge. Yeah, and to set up your purge. Lots and lots of fun. So let's get right to it with the orbs. Now the orbs are crafted at your alchemist bench, and to get the alchemist bench you need to go into your feats. You need to scroll over to survivalist and then down to your firebowl cauldron, and as you can see that's going to allow you to make your alchemist bench. So once you have that, you want to open that up. And as you can see, my top row has the Demon Fire Orb, the Gaseous Orb, the Grease Orb, and then this is the ability to fill a glass flask with water. Yeah, and the only way you can get these on the top is by having a thrall in your alchemist bench. Now, they only have to be a level 1. It doesn't require anything higher than that. Just one thrall in there will allow you to make these. Yeah, pretty cool. So let's look at the Demon Fire Orb. Now that's going to take a water orb and a volatile gland. So to make a water orb, you need to have your casting bench. We want to open that up, and you want to be able to make a glass flask mold, and then that takes 15 iron bars. And then you want to make the glass flask itself. Now that takes the glass flask mold and 3 glass. Now your glass is made by putting crystal in your furnace. Yeah, so once you have those, you can go ahead and make the glass flask. So I'm going to go ahead and make like 3 of those. I already have one here, so let's just grab that one. Now once you have those, you can head back over to your alchemist bench, and you can go ahead and put the glass flask in there. Now on the top you can scroll over, and as you can see I have 12 empty glass flasks in this inventory over here, and now over here I can fill those 12. Yeah, so let's go ahead and fill maybe 3 or 4 of those, and as you can see that's doing it automatically for me. And then once you have that done, in order to make the water orb, you just go down to here where it says water orb, and with the water filled glass flask and ichor you can make the water orb. Yeah, so let's go ahead and make 4 of those, and voila, now you are ready to make your Demon Fire Orb or any orb. So this one requires volatile gland as well. Now volatile gland on your map is gotten from the lizards that spit poison at you. We got a little lag here. Here comes our map. And you can find those down here. And if you harvest them with a pick, you will get the volatile gland. And you will also find them right along this beach here, up in the jungle. Yeah. So those are the Demon Fire Orbs. Now, just as it suggests, you throw these and it will cause fire. Yeah. And then the Gaseous Orb takes the water orb and puffball mushroom. Now, puffball mushrooms are found on the Noob River in groups. And I did do a video on this, a little path that I used to take to gather these. And all along up here and around in here, there are pretty big patches of these, and one trip around you can gather quite a few of those. Yeah, so I will put a link to that video at the end of this video so you can use that trail as well. Now there are puffball mushrooms in some of the caves. I do believe this one up here, I can't remember, I think it's Exiles something cave up in here. There are some puffball mushrooms as well, and some of the other caves you will find them too. Just look for them. But this pass that I have is really easy. You can get a lot of them. So once you have those, the Gaseous Orb does it as it implies as well. It creates a poison cloud, yeah, which does a lot of damage. And then there's the Grease Orb. The Grease Orb is made with tar, and tar, as you know, is a byproduct on the tanner's bench from hide. Yeah. And actually, the Demon Fire Orb and the Grease Orb work together, and I'll demonstrate this later. But if you're trying to get star metal from meteorites up north and you don't have exploding arrows, you can throw a Grease Arrow Orb at the meteorite and then follow it up with a Demon Fire Orb, and it will make a fire hot enough to crack that meteor open so you can get the star metal. Yeah, very, very handy for that earlier in the game. So yeah, those are your orbs, and then there are traps that you can make. So let's take a look at traps. Now, to get those in your feats, you want to scroll over to feats. Whoops, we went one too far here. And you want to scroll over to warrior, and this is where all your weapons are, and you want to scroll down till you'll see explosives, and you can get this at level 35. You do need the fireball cauldron. You also need to be able to make the earthen jar and the iron pick. So this will give you the explosive jar, demon fire barrage, which is ammunition for the trebuchet, and I will probably follow that up at a later date. And then the vapor trap and the exploding trap. These are all a lot of fun. So yeah, you'll need the earthen jar. So let's go ahead and see where that is. You want to go over to your torchbearer. You want to scroll down to furniture making, and it is right here. Yeah, at the apprentice potter. You can make this at level 15. And this is made at the artisan's bench, the jar. So let's go ahead over here and open up our artisan's table. And scroll down, and it is right here. Now this takes 125 stone to make one. Now why they made that so expensive, I don't know, because these are only 50. Yeah, all the other jars are only 50. But it's probably because you need it to make those, so they're going to make it a little tougher to do. So, but that's where you make them, and you do need them to make your traps. But your traps are made right in your hand crafting. So let's scroll down. And as you can see, our exploding trap takes iron bar, branch, 20 branch, an explosive jar, and brimstone to make. The explosive jar takes the earthenware jug, 5 tar, and dragon powder. Now dragon powder again is made at your fireball cauldron. You do not need the improved to do this. It will be in the first one as well. And this takes demon blood, brimstone, crystal, and steel fire. A little expensive to make, but well worth it. You can be making this right off, and as you go along, just make sure you make a lot of these so that you can have the jars once you get up there. And then we have the vapor. Now the jars, explosive jars, are really fun because you can set those down, set them off, or you can hit them with arrows, either way, and they explode, of course. The exploding trap you can set on the ground and you can step on them. You know, if the enemy steps on them, they explode. And I'll demonstrate those later. But again, those take the explosive jars as well, and so does the vapor trap. The vapor trap takes ichor instead of brimstone, but it also takes an explosive jar to make. Yeah. So then we have the Palisades. Yeah, Palisades are fun. So let's go ahead and see where we can get those in feats. And those are under building, and it's right under apprentice mason. You can make these very early in the game at a level 17. And once you have that ability, you make these at the artisan's work table. So let's go ahead and take a look at those. And these are the simple Palisades, and these take 20 shaped wood. And then we have the wall palisade, which takes 50 shaped wood and 3 twine. Now the stakes, or the spike, takes 20 branch, but this is only decorative. It doesn't do any damage, and it, you know, it's just for looks. That's all that is about. So yeah, now that we have these, let's go outside and see how these all work and how you can use them. So I have a little box of goodies over here. So we're going to take some of these out and show you just how they work. So let's take a jar and let's see, let's take a vapor trap and an exploding trap and see how all these work. So yeah, the explosive jar, we'll place that right here. Now again, you can walk up to this, hit your square button and set it off, or you can hit it with an arrow. So you can place these around your base, and as soon as the enemy gets pretty close to them, where they can take damage, just hit it with an arrow to set it off. Or just go ahead and hit your square button when you walk up to it, and boom. Yeah, and the jar burns for quite a while. Yeah, which is very, very nice. Yeah, it does a lot of damage. They're expensive, but it does a lot of damage. So if you set around 3 or 4 of these around the perimeter of your fort, they will do, especially for things like, you know, animal purges. I sometimes get the scorpions or the locusts here. Yeah, it's great for that. So yeah, let's try, oh, I already got some in there, but let's try the exploding trap. Now this just sets on top of the ground, just like that. And all you do with this is step on it and it explodes. But as you can see, it doesn't last long. It's just a one-shot deal. It does do damage, but not half as good as the jar. And then of course there is the vapor trap. So we'll put that down. Now the vapor trap again does cause a poisonous gas, which as you can see, not only did I take explosive damage, but now I'm going to take the noxious gas. So to prevent that, make sure you wear a mask if you're anywhere near it. Now this does not damage your thralls. It does a little bit. I have to say, I did test it. It does a very, very small amount of damage, but nothing that's going to damage your thrall at all. Now when I first started playing this game, I had to put masks on all my thralls because they took damage from this gas, and I needed to protect them if I were using poison arrows or these traps around my base for the purge. Yeah, but that's no longer true. They're no longer damaged by those at all, which is fantastic. So then we have, let's go back over to our goodie box here. And then we have the Demon Fire Orb, the Gaseous Orb, and the Grease Orb. So let's go ahead and put a Grease Orb up and a Fire Orb, and I'll show you how these two work together. Now again, as you're going to use it on a meteor, you see my little white dot. You will want to put that on the meteor. We'll say this is your meteor. You want to set it right there at the base of the meteor and toss it there. And as you can see, it landed right on top of it. And once it explodes, it leaves a grease mark on there. And then we're going to follow it up with a fire orb. Now you can see it causes a huge, huge fire. And it keeps on burning, and it burns so hot that it will crack open the meteor. Yeah. And you can use that to get your star medal if you don't have explosive arrows yet. Yeah. Now to just toss the fire orb, as you can see, it just creates a little teeny fire. And the same with the grease orb. If you just throw that out there. Well, I threw it right on top of the fire orb. Yeah. But normally all it does is create a big splash of grease. You can see all that on the ground. Now this is slick too. If you want to create a slippery situation for the enemy, you can do that as well. That can be kind of fun. You know, if you don't want them climbing on your walls, or you don't want them, you know, having any stability on any of your walls, just throw some of that on it. Yeah, that could be fun. You could have some fun with that for sure. Yeah. So that's your orbs. And then we almost forgot our gaseous orb. So let's throw that on there. And gaseous orbs, again, you've probably used these. These are dropped a lot by the enemy. Yeah, so it just creates a cloud of poison, which is very, very handy. Yeah, it can take out enemies with no problem. I don't know if I have anything down here that I can actually throw it on. I might. Yeah, oh yeah, there we are, right down there. I don't know if it'll throw this far even, but we'll try it. We'll see if we can lock onto that little beauty. Oh, he's going to try. Oh, he's going to come right up after me. Alright. He is. Come right over here. Whoops, we got a lag here. Alright, so there we are. Oh, we've got them both here. Ooh, we got a little action, guys. Now see how quickly that's taking them out. Yeah. No problem. These are wonderful. Wonderful. So let's go ahead now and try. Well, let's take these off our little menu here first so we don't become overweight. So let's put these back. And let's take a look at our Palisades. Now these are the wall Palisades and these are the simple Palisades. They both have the same effect. They cause bleed. Now, as you can see, I'm standing right up next to this, and as you can see my health bar, it's ticking down. And I do have bleed. Yeah, that's what these do. Now, again, these do not cause bleed on your thralls. So as you can see, I'm taking damage from this big one just because I'm standing up next to it. So you're probably wondering why I have my thrall inside there. It's because before, you could not have any boots on the ground around these Palisades because they would take damage from it. Now they do not. So she can fight enemies on the other side of the Palisades, right through the Palisades, and it doesn't affect her, which is awesome. Yeah, because that used to be problematic before because, gee, I didn't say that word very good. Problematic. Forget it. You know what I mean? And I used to have them up there on the crenellated walls, and they would actually jump down into the Palisades, and I would lose them that way. But I have further extended my little murder hole here. We've also lined it with Palisades, and I've set traps in here. I do believe this is an exploding one, and then I have a couple of vapor traps in there, and then, of course, the cauldrons up there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to spawn in some enemies here. And we're going to have some fun with this. So let me go ahead and get into my admin panel. We're going to fly first. I'm going to get ourselves up here so that they will not bother me. And then again, go into admin. We are going to go over to spawn NPCs. And we are going to go down here and get us a few fighters. And we're going to take a look at how this works. Within a Alright, so I've dropped them. Here they are. They kind of want me. Now, as you can see, my thrall here, she's all ready to go. But she's not taking any damage from the Palisades, but she can hit them through the Palisades. But as they're getting close to the Palisades trying to get her, they're taking bleed. Yeah. So this is just fantastic. Fantastic. Now, I'm going to see if I can get them to come over to my murder hole here. Hey, you guys want to come over here? Yeah. Come here. Come up here. There we go. Alright, so now we've got them not only with poison, but now we're going to dump some oil on them on top of that. But I think they're already dead. Almost. Well, they will be. Yeah. So there you go. I mean, she is fine, but this guy is still taking damage. And let's see if we can get her to highlight here. I don't know if we can. Yeah, see, she's fine. Tiny bit of damage, but that may be from them. They may have reached her if they had kind of a longer sword. But yeah, so you can set these Palisades up any way you choose. Yeah, any way you choose. And yeah, it's enormous fun, I think. I'm gonna dump this one on them. There we go. We just got one lone guy here. He's a diehard. So let's see if we can, no, let's see, I gotta get it on there just right. Oh, there it is. Nope, not quite. Well, anyway, he will definitely, if he hasn't already, I think he did. Nope, there he is. He's over here still. So I don't want to get down while he's still here unless I go right here. Yeah. So yeah, guys, tons and tons of fun. If you, yeah, if you're afraid of the purge, don't be. Turn it into a fun time because it certainly can be. Yeah. And with all these tools at your disposal, you could create all kinds of scenarios with this. So yeah, have fun, guys. This game is enormous fun. So, all right, if you found this helpful, please give me that big old like. And if you would like to see more, just subscribe. And if you hit the little bell, you'll be notified when I post my next video. And again, I am leaving a link to the video I did on puffball mushroom. And yeah, and a link to the guides. All right, guys, again, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, GG out.